Let me start off by saying, I hate role-playing threads in /x/ and you can choose to believe this or not. Story is set over a period of 20 years. Me live in small rural area in Oklahoma between Tulsa and Bartlesville. County has been experiencing weird sighting of black triangles and cloaked people walking down rural roads. Cows disappearing and blood and organs being found in fields. Live on ranch with livestock. B14. Chilling at house at night during the summer playing Super Nintendo. This was early 96, so N64 was not released yet. Game room was sun room that overlooked land, and in the distance if it was clear you could see the Tulsa skyline that was about 30 miles away. Get up to go get a RC Cola. Walk into sun room and see what looks like people by our pool on the bottom of the hill. Mind you, our house was built on a hill to overlook our land. Oh shit, my little brothers got out again and are trying to swim at night. Leave sun room and proceed to go out to the back deck. Start walking downstairs to pool at the bottom of the hill. Notice these figures are small and skinnier than my board hers. See baseball bat on staircase landing halfway down. Grab it. Feel my adrenaline pulsing. Walking toward pool which feels like forever. Try to say something to the figures. Barely let out a word. They hear me. They turn around and stare at me. They have large eyes and gray skin. Start to hear static in my head. Feels odd. Start counting them, there are 4. Try to raise bat. My arms feel like they are jelly. Hearing what seems like distant whispers in my head. We are not here to hurt you unless you mess with us. Starting to feel like I am congested. Start slowly walking to 60 feet to the pool. Bat is raised, might be able to get a good swing in on them. Try to swing, miss the creature. Start feeling weak. Sit down and accept my fate. Hear footsteps on the concrete around the pool and hear the gate move. Look around, they are walking away. See the light from the TV in the sunroom. See one of my younger brother in his pajamas lit up by the light from the TV. Sit there for a few minutes as I regain my strength. Slowly walk up back to the house. Feel warmth on my face. My nose is bleeding. Walk to bathroom when I get to the house. Washing my face off and contemplating on waking my dad and stepmother up. My younger brother walks up behind me and says, "You saw them too? They have been coming around here for the last few months, that's why I draw the blinds when at evening now. A few months back I was reading Hank the Cowdog and I looked up and one of them was staring at me from my window and I felt a loud buzzing in my head, then it just disappeared. I look at him and the dots of his odd behavior are adding up in my head." My brother continues to say they mostly walk around outside the windows and try to peek into the windows. They know we are here but they are trying not to mess with us. Does Dad, and we will call her Sue, stepmom, know about this? No, I don't want to tell them, they might think I am crazy. Well, let's keep this to ourselves. I go back to the sunroom and turn off the TV and run back to my room freaked out. Lay in my bed all night until the sun rises, unable to sleep, listening for movement outside. When my father wakes me up, I tell him, "Dad, I want a rifle." His eyes light up. "What for?" "I just want to plink and walk the land with it." "Of course, son. Go to the tractor supply store and get a cheap SKS from a barrel and some ammo." Now I am prepared for these guys. Weeks go by and nothing shows up. Be a few weeks later, playing my new game Quake on DOS. Computer room is in the front of the house. The room is a computer/informal dining area with a window with the benches built right underneath it. Sun is going down in the Oklahoma sky. Anxiety starts setting in. Draw blinds. Play about an hour or so and start feeling an odd feeling on my back. My back is to the window. Stop playing for a second. Start listening to the sounds, hear the DOS theme playing, and then I hear what sounds like movement in the bushes outside the window. Gather some bravery. Peek behind the curtains. See 2 large all black eyes staring at me. Panic mode enabled. Run from the window while yelling. My dad gets up and I hear him running. He comes into the room with a loaded 1911. What is it, son? There is something outside. He walks out the front door and I hear holy fucking shit. He runs back in and locks all the doors and draws the blinds all over the house. Everyone get to my office. We do, and my dad walks in a few minutes later with a few sleeping bags and a few rifles. And some food. I hear him try to call his co-workers. My father is a deputy, and tries to call my stepmom who is out of town for a conference. No service. Dad comes in and rounds up all of 5 of us. I have 4 brothers. Tell us that what is out there looks like a gray and begins to explain to us what that is. Tell us all to stay in this room all night. Dad randomly patrols the house. Brothers fall asleep. I fight it but end up passing out around 1:30. Wake up because I think I hear knocking on the window. Look around and see all my family is asleep. Even my dad is asleep with a chair in front of the locked door. Hearing rain, assuming it's the rain oent windows. Knock, knock, knock. It's coming from the window. Look out and see nothing. Hear cans fall fro mthe direction of the garage. Dad is alert, locked and loaded. My brothers wake up crying. I forgot to fucking lock the garage. My dad screams out. Dad hand me SKS and tell me that he will lead. We slowly walk the length of the house to the garage. Hear movement in the garage. Sounds like cans are being thrown about. Dad reaches for the door handle and quietly unlocks the door. Here we go. JPEG. Open the door right as lightning flashes. Door swings open. Garage is lit up, the door is open. Dad turns on the lights. The wind blew the door open and we're scattering cans around the garage. Woo.mp3. Go close the door. Look outside and see something run past the door about 100 feet away as another bolt of lightning flashes. Close the door and tell my dad. Start hearing soft buzzing. Start hearing slamming on the garage door. Then I hear my brothers screaming from across the house. Dad and I run toward them as we lock both garage doors. Run to the office, something is slamming on window. Tell everyone to get out and we all run toward the master bath with a walk-in closet with all our stuff. Banging goes on for another hour in various places throughout the outside of the house, doors/windows and walls, until all we hear is the rain and distant thunder. About 5 a.m. my dad and I start turning on all the lights in the house and all day we can outside. Patrol the house and wait until the sun rises. Sun rises. We peek outside and nothing is there. It's a dreary morning. We walk the perimeter of the house and see little footprints, and my head has a Polaroid cam. Take pictures and prepare to cook breakfast. My brothers wake up scared. We reassure them and tell them it's okay. Dad tell them not to tell mom and that we will make sure the house is safe. Fear consumes the house for the next few weeks. Nothing happens. School begins and all is well. Fast forward 2 years to when I was 16 and edgy. Be 16. Working on the property and feeding the cows. Multiple cows are out in the pasture. About 10 a.m. in the morning. I walk towards the cows with my SKS slung on my back and notice they are standing by a creek mooing like they are lamenting something. Walk toward creek bed where the cows are standing. Smells like hospital and rotting flesh. See 3 cows mutilated and a calf fetus still with the umbilical cord attached floating in the creek. Run back to the John Deere Gator and call my dad on the walkie-talkie and tell him to call the sheriff and to come here. Flash forward an hour, deputies taking pictures and coroner looking confused. Hear a Crown Vic roll up and a few guys in slacks and button-up shirts walk up and identify themselves as Oklahoma Bureau of Investigation. Start their investigation and they call a college vet to come pick up the bodies for investigation. They drive off with the cattle bodies and we go on our way, and that night I have to stay up and patrol the property on an ATV and make sure nothing goes wrong, while my dad stays at home by the phone in case I call for help on the walkie. Be around 10 p.m, driving my ATV down a dirt road, hear a car rolling down the road. It's a all black Crown Vic. As they drive by, I notice two men in all black in the front. They stare at me as I wave at them as I pass. Go about a mile down the dirt road and hear a buzz just like the one I heard 2 years before. The hairs on my neck stand up and I see something slowly move across the sky and hover over a house down the road and then move on, then it shoots all the way up. I sit there in awe for 10 minutes. Hear jets in the distance. 2 jets fly over me, probably from the Air National Guard base in Tulsa. They make 2 or 3 passes. I drive on and for the rest of the night see or hear nothing. Spend the rest of my weekend worth no issues. Go to school on Monday and everyone has seen black triangle and knows what happened on our ranch at my school. People are saying it's a common occurrence, but the Air Force and the feds are keeping in quiet. It happened to me and hence why I am here without trip fagging. Flash forward 1 year. Be 17 and getting ready to graduate high school. Preparing to enter the Oklahoma National Guard. Still working on the ranch and keeping my eye out for odd things. Late evening and I am driving my beat up 1986 Silverado with my girlfriend, who is the stereotypical 90s goth girl. Listening to Pantera on a back road in Oklahoma, being edgy and different. We stop on isolated part of my family's ranch. Start a bonfire and pull out a 12-pack of Lone Star beer. Drink some beers and get drunk. Bang a gong, we're getting it on. Looking up at the stars while the fire dies. Hear buzzing, ignore it. Hey, do you hear that? Says my GF. Yes. She looks at me, I hear it all the time at my house, I think it's just the electricity from the power lines. Feedback.jpg. Stars black out over us in the shape of a triangle. She is screaming and hurrying to put her clothes on. I put my pants on and we run to the cab of the truck. I struggle to start the truck. Crank it a few times. Finally it starts. Start hauling ass towards the road. Shifting gears like a boss. Bust through a barbed wire fence and look in my rear view mirror. See triangle slowly following us. Hauling ass down this country road trying to get to the highway to be around other cars. See storm following behind the triangle. About a mile till the highways. GF screaming for me to go faster, not in a good way. It's raining so hard right now. Pushing my truck to the limit. See bridge I have to cross is flooded. I tell my GF to hang on and I make a sharp left turn into a field and check my rear view mirror and see the triangle is still following us. Make sharp right turn back onto road and see the highway. Relief.jpg. Get on highway. Still hauling ass. See blue and red light on other side of the highway. Cars on the other side of the road are stopped and people are staring in awe at this triangle. I cut through the median toward a few stopped sheriff cars. They are in awe. The craft stops and hits a crazy amount of speed and flies off. The deputy looks at me and says, "Hey, you're Deputy Anons' son, right?" "Yep." "Was that thing chasing you?" "Yes, sir." "Holy fuck, kid. From where?" "Near Ramona." "That's like 6 miles, kid." I am still in shock, my GF is crying. I drop my GF off at her house in the shadow of a mesa in a trailer park, poor rural area. Drive home and my dad has been told that I was being chased. He listens and tells me I did the right thing. Go to school the next day, that's all they can talk about. I graduate high school and go into the National Guard. Fast forward to 2003 when I get home from Iraq and I am going to college and working part-time as a corrections officer at the local jail. Get home from Iraq. World is different. Killed a few Iraqis. Go to my part-time job at the sheriff's. Get moved from the jail to patrol. Badass.jpg. Having a typical boring evening shift, sitting in my patrol car listening to classic rock. Eric Clapton.mp3. Dispatch calls 843, we have a call about a person hanging around a ranch at etc etc. Go to call because I am unit 843 and it's probably just a bored kid wandering someone's property. Starting to fucking rain. Get to residence. Put on my rain jacket. Fucking dumbass call, I say to myself. Walk to house, knock on door. Sheriff's department. Door cracks open, it's near the barn, short little fellow, probably a kid that's wandered onto my property. LOL, okay, this is a easy call. Hearing thunder in the distance, I can hear some AC/DC coming from my car subtly. Walk toward barn, my radio is starting to squeak and get choppy. Fucking rain, I say to myself. Hear footstep near the barn. Hey kid, it's the sheriff's department, I am gonna need you to come with me so we can take you home. Walking stops. Hello? Kid, it's the sheriff's department. Walk around to the side where I hear the stepping and pull out my light because the sun is going down fast as the rain picks up. Huge fucking black eyes reflect back at me. My eyes are watering and my head is buzzing. My radio is making a moaning sound and my head is buzzing. I hear it walk toward me, I see it walking toward me, and I pull my 1911 out of the holster and pull the hammer back with all my strength. You missed with the stick, you're going to miss with that. Rings in my head. I put my head down. Buzzing stops and I look up and nothing is there. I put the hammer back on my 911 and my radio is back to normal chatter. 843. 843. We have reports of a large triangle near your call, are you okay? 843. I get nth radio, I am okay. Dispatch is going nuts, we called your number for the past 5 minutes. My radio went to shit because of the storms. Dispatch, cancel, officer, non-responding call. Hear like 5 patrol cars rolling down the road to my position with sirens and lights. Walk back to the house and tell the lady it was just a deer from the front, they look like kids. All my co-workers are worried as they turn around and drive back. 843. We have a civil disturbance at address. I am on it. Driving the 7 miles to my next call. I hear various radio calls about the sighting of a black triangle and focus on my call. Get to the call and it's a familiar place, it's where my GF from high school lives with her parents. I knock on the door, I hear yelling. The door opens, it's her mom. Oh hey Anon. Someone put you in a deputy outfit, or did they think you were sane enough to be a cop? Ma'am, I don't have time for this shit. She tell me my ex is having violent fits and outburst, and I walk toward her room in the trailer and hear yelling and screaming. I open the door and see her thrashing on the ground and drop to my knees and try to calm her. Anon, they know who you are. Who? They do. The things, we saw the triangle and they are trying to get to you with me. I look at her mom and she tell me she was diagnosed with bipolar depression last year. What do you want me to do, ma'am? As I look to her. Take her to the hospital, maybe a few weeks in a padded cell will help her. Call dispatch and use the I have a 5150, was just Cali police slang but now it's just policy slang. Handcuff her and put her in the back of my squad car and begin to drive her to Bartlesville, nearest city. She is talking to me and telling me that they know my younger brothers are my weakness. My radio is going off with reports of multiple F-16s flying over the area and a black triangle showing up after they RTB and then the scramble them again. Get to hospital. Leave her there and continue on with my shifts the next few weeks. Get a phone call at 3 a.m. 4 weeks later. Hey Anon, your ex hung herself in the hospital, she left a note saying that you were being watched and they are after you. Everyone laughs it off. I don't and tell my father and he looks at me. Son, they are here every night outside and your stepmom is in denial. This was the 90s and early 2000s, we have Polaroids of them but they are at my father's house, I am not sure where they are and I also have a few other things too. Dad is literally sleeping 4 hours a night and walking the house when he is up at night. My stepmom is taking Xanax and working her rounds at the local rural healthcare clinic like nothing is happening. Fast forward 2 years and I am finished with my associates and I am working full-time at the sheriff's department as a corporal. No happenings lately. One day during someone's shift they call me and tell me that they found a girl that was missing naked in the woods rocking back and forth. She has been missing for 1 week and was found by a few hunters. The girl was talking about big eyes and gray little men. Investigators are treating this as a sexual assault because they see signs of traumatic sexual activity and other bruises. Take her to the hospital, and Homeland Security took over a rape case and took us off the case. Homeland Security goes to our headquarters and starts taking reports and evidence from every call about cattle mutilations and black triangles and odd sighting. Then tell us all any future calls need to be notified with the Homeland Security office in Oklahoma City. Fight breaks out between feds and sheriff's deputies in Motorpool. They keep screaming Patriot Act as we fight. The MAND one actually pulls his sidearm on us to make us all stop. He says if we continue all of us will be stripped of our post certifications and blacklisted from policing for the rest of our lives. I fall into a deep depression and drink about 8 to 12 cans of Lone Star every fucking night. Become a functioning alcoholic. Work my shifts, all there are meth heads and domestics. One day around 2007. I was working the night shift and it was 1:30 at night and I was chilling on a back road taking a piss. Feels goodman.jpg. Hear the piano exit of Layla playing over the radio. Nice clear Oklahoma night, no worries. Hear a thumping in the distance. I have heard this before. Digging deep in my memories. Thump 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 thump. It's getting closer. That's a fucking Black Hawk heli. Get in car, turn of lights as it gets closer. Heli flies over. Leave all my lights off and begin to follow heli. Following heli for about 20 minutes. Our beats are fucking huge. Heli lands in a wooded opening near a nice new house. What the fuck? See multiple black SUVs and a lone sheriff's car with the deputy sitting beside it looking like he is being scolded by some Homeland uniformed officers. I turn on my driving lights and wait for the deputy to pull out so I can talk to him. Dowdy comes out and I wave him down and he tells me to follow him. We drive about 2 miles away and make sure we are not followed. He tell me that he got a phone call from our LT about a person peeping in the windows of a house and went to investigate. He told me he went to look and about 5 minutes later some DHS guys rolled up and told him he had no jurisdiction at this case and detained him for a while. I connected the dots in my mind. DHS is there in less than 5 minutes and uses a fucking helicopter. They must have a place they operate from in the county and they must be listening to our calls. Finish shift and go to my father. Tell him what I think. He says, yep, that's the issue, we are meddling in something they don't want us to know. Lay low for a few years and just be officer friendly. Con to 2010. B 2010. Met a woman and married her. She works as a general surgeon in Tulsa. I am still bebopping around my sheriff job wearing my khaki and my cowboy hat, common deputy outfit in OK. Working my beat. It's raining and I am thinking about quitting this job and moving to Tulsa ND working the urban beat. Sitting at a railroad track while In Bloom by Nirvana comes on, I think back to being a teen and think of my GF who killed herself and all the crazy moments. Dispatch to 843. This is 843, we have a missing child case at address reports of the little girl following a fireball. It's around the 4th of July and fireworks are shot off a lot in the country. I put my Crown Vic in drive and make my way towards the address. I am greeted by one of my younger brothers who is now a deputy and the parent. She is talking about how the whole hose lit up and an orange ball shot through the house and he daughter started to follow it and she points in the general direction towards the forest. I look at my brother and he looks at me and he has a face that I have not seen in about 15 years, a face of fear. We tell her that we will go into the woods once another deputy comes and is able to stay with her in case the child comes back. Third deputy shows up and me and my brother turn on our mag lights and walk into the forest. We walk about 300 feet into the forest and our radios go nuts and my cell phone battery dies as I try to make a call to dispatch. Fuck it, I yell to my brother as we go deeper into the forest. I start hearing help. It sounds like it's echoing and I whisper to my brother, you hear that? Yeah. It's not a voice, well it is, but it's in our heads. Help. Help, it sounds like a distorted child's voice. Our flashlights die. Fuck, these are fresh batteries. Blasts over the radio before it beeps that it's dead. Help. We both sit in the forest and wait for our eyes to adjust to the darkness. BTW, I went to ranger school around 2006 for a promotion. Help. I pull out my SIG 226, 9mm if you want to know. I whisper, let's move up. We move up about 200 feet. Help. Start to hear a soft buzzing. I hear actual crying about 500 feet to my front. Help me, Anon. I look to my left and my brother is right beside me. Why did call for help? That was not me, but it said your name. Help me, Anon. Move up, brother. I whisper. Getting closer to the crying. Right on top of the crying. The girl is in a dried creek bed. Bloody and cut up. I jump into the creek bed. She whispers to me, they are watching us. Hey Anon. Something is up here with me. Run bro if you have to. Help me. I hear my bro start booking it back to the tree line, and now in my mind I hear help and a buzzing. I cannot climb out of the creek bed because it's about 10 feet up. Walk with one hand holding my pistol and the other holding the girl. Hearing leaves move above the creek bed. That you bro? Silence. Start hearing a clicking noise. Hear something drop behind me. Turn around real fast and it's a rock. Turn around again and hear help. Start booking it to a place where I can run up the creek bed. Clicking sounds are falling behind me. Still hear running behind me. Run about 500 feet down, run up the creek bed. Start running towards the tree line. An orange ball of light flies past me. I start to hear running towards the front of me and I see 10 flashlights and I start running towards them and notice they are 10 deputies with AR-15s. Come on Anon. I am running the fastest I have ever been in my fucking life. Help. Reach the line with the deputies with the AR-15s and their lights start to fail and their radios beep, and then the night goes dark and a humming goes over us and blocks the stars. 6 orange balls fly up towards the craft and it speeds away right as 2 F-16s fly over. We all walk towards the squad cars and hear a helicopter on the horizon and it flies over and places a spotlight where we were, and 3 DHS SUVs pull up. Blah blah Patriot Act blah blah. They have those little radiator detectors and they beep when they scan us with them, and they run towards the forest and begin looking. Go through SOP and make it home at 8 AM and crack open a nice cold RC and rest, but only for a short time. My wife and I had 2 children and ended up leaving me for a banker in OKC. B 2014, living in a nice trailer in the country on my family's ranch and still working at the sheriff's department. B one night I am watching some shitty late night variety show. Hear a knocking on a window. I didn't hear anyone drive up. Grab cig. Check window and nothing is there. Power goes out. Shit.jpg. I got some Gen 3 NVGs from the Federal Police Aid Program and I kept them because we had no use for them. Put them on, my dark world turns green. Walk to my room and put on boots and find a Ken silencer for my SIG. Gonna fucking end this. Quietly make my way outside. It's eerily quiet. Check my perimeter. Change things up and go the other way. Knock knock from the other side of the trailer. Make my way quietly toward the other side. See gray man trying to peek in my window. Yell help me. Thing looks at me and screeches and starts to run off. I give chase, not thinking to fire at it. Full of anger. Been fucking with my life for the past almost 20 years. This motherfucker can run, speed up as I attempt to catch up to it. I am gonna kill you motherfucker. Creature is running towards the ranch house. I see the outside lights of the house as the hill comes into view. Odd, my house is without power. Running toward the creature, and all of a sudden it runs under security light and blinds me. Take off my NVGs and try to readjust, start to see spots in my vision. Fucking shit. Vision comes back and I am looking at the pool. The creature is looking back at me. Feel my pockets and feel a baton. I flick it out. Walk toward the pool. If I lay one lick on you better never come back. Those empty soulless eyes just stare back at me and I hear buzzing and my nose bleeding. Extend baton. Walk towards creature. Whack whack. Land two on its head and it lets out this blood-curdling scream. Then I kick it into the pool. Hear it struggling to keep above water as it slowly swims toward the stairs. Walk to the stairs and spit in its face. Land one good whack on its head again and then feel a burning in my body and hear a buzzing. The lights go out and I cannot move. 4 creatures show up and drag the wounded one away. The craft flies off and I collapse my baton and hear my dad running down the steps. Anon, you okay? Yep. Walk home. Sleep. Fast forward to 2016. I am now remarried and still working at the sheriff's, but we have had no odd cases reported in 2 years. Also, I will post Polaroids in a few days once I find them to back my story up.